Welcome back to the Matter of Facts podcast on the Prepper Broadcasting Network. We talk prepping, guns, and politics every week on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify. Go check out our content at mwfpodcast.com on Facebook or Instagram. You can support us via Patreon or by checking out our affiliate partners. I'm your host, Phil Rabalais. Andrew and Nick are on the other side of the mic, and here's your show. Welcome back to Matter of Facts podcast. It is January 2nd. Me and Nick are back behind the mics. It's been
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Feels like two. It feels like it's been more than 2 weeks, but you know, I kind of decided, and I think I just bullied Nick into going along with it, that we were going to take off during the Christmas week.
To be fair, I had 6 Christmas parties, I think. I lost count. It was a long week.
I was about to say that usually happens when you do a lot of partying, Nick.
Yeah.
You forget how many times you partied. Or at least that's what used to happen to me back in the day.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I see Jeff, I see Raggle Fraggle. Thank you guys for joining us. Let's see here. Jeff already dropping this on us. I missed the last show, but I must point out you missed Jingle All the Way for Christmas movies. I'm drawing a blank on that.
Jingle All the Way. Might have to watch that. Don't know it.
Yeah.
My wife probably does.
Also, he's saying an extra sling is a perfectly valid reason to build another rifle.
Agreed.
Don't beat me to the punchline. I actually could run one of Rebel's slings on that rifle. I just put back together.
He does capitalism bad enough. The man will not take my money for a backpack, even when I offer more than he wants.
Nick, you might have roboted. Are you still with me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Nick's computer is misbehaving today.
Maybe my internet's? I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, Raggle's asking who put in for new NFA items today. Nick cannot, and I did not. Because
sad Illinois noises. Unless I get a Type 7 or a Curio and Relic license. Unfortunately, all of that stuff is off the table because Illinois says be sad.
Yes, Illinois is a very, very sad place.
It is. We're trying to get out of here, but, you know, it's one of those things. Money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can make you a hell of a deal on a couch if you and Rachel just want to come crash my place for a little bit.
I don't know that your floor can handle the weight of my hobbies.
I mean, I know I live in the swamp, but that's kind of a low blow, man.
Broseph, I've got like 1,600 pounds of cast iron behind and to the left of me.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that you two move down here, and then you and me go find a shop to put all those things in.
We could.
With a little apartment in the back for when we want to stay up all night doing hood rat stuff.
But it's so humid down there, and it's so hot.
You get used to it after a while, I promise.
I don't think you do.
Yeah, everybody tells me that, and I don't believe it either, but I keep saying it. It's part of the contractual agreement to live down here. Morgan is also with us. Thank you for joining us again.
Mm-hmm.
All right, admin work, and then tomfoolery, I guess. So, if you are a patron, you already know how this works. $1 a month lets you contribute to sociopathy, bad decisions, and poor behavior usually. And I really appreciate y'all supporting the show and supporting the two of us. I do capitalism badly, which is why I give y'all code MOF at Disaster Coffee. It gets you 5% off of really good coffee and bunker beans, which is all that goes in this cup. Which, by the way, this is what happens when you tell your wife one too many times that if I drink a coffee pot, I can count it as a single cup. So this is what I got for Christmas.
That's smart. She's looking after you, man. She's trying to moderate.
It's honestly like one of the more adorable things that I've gotten for Christmas over the years. Because my wife always does like unexpected things for me. And when I saw this, I was like, this is awesome. I have drank out of nothing but this since Christmas.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I was going to take it to work, but I'm too afraid of it getting destroyed.
Yeah, that's rough.
Here's Raggle Fraggle. How'd you do for Christmas? I got a new coffee cup, and I told my wife, and God bless her for listening for a change. So, like, I am hard to shop for, and I admit that. And I'm sure a lot of us are hard to shop for from our spouses, not because we don't want things, but because we're adults and we buy things throughout the year. Like, it's like I tell my wife all the time. I'm like, I'm an adult. I make money. I save money, I spend money. So if I want something, I've already got it. And if I don't want it, it's because I can't afford it, which by extension means she can't either.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, big kid wants tend to come with big kid price tags.
I mean,
my wife knocked my stocking out of the park this year, though. Old fashioned mixers from a variety of locales, which are fucking delicious, by the way. Dangerously so. She got me this honey apple old fashioned mixer that went really good with the holiday bourbon that they just brought out down the street from me. So, oh man, that's gonna be dangerous.
It sounds legit. Almost as dangerous as that. What was it? The Maple Knob Creek that I only manage to get when I'm away from home. They don't stock it anywhere around here for some stupid reason, so I'm always on the lookout for it.
I think my local liquor store has it.
Well, I got a bottle while I was up in Michigan, but they don't stock it down here for some reason. So whenever I go away from home, I look for a bottle and bring it home. But that stuff is extremely dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like sugary sweet, but it's mapley sweet. And you can literally put that in the freezer or drink it straight and just get yourself annihilated accidentally.
Blackberry brandy, man. It's for ice fishing.
That'll do it too. Oh, last but not least, if you like shirts, if you like merch, Southern Gals, links in the show description. Support small business, supports us. Now, Raggle Fraggle said he got a shotgun, a chainsaw, and spotting scope.
God damn, dude. What shotgun? I'm curious.
If the answer is not Beretta, I'm a little ashamed of you.
Well,
Nick, don't play with my emotions, man.
Spaz 12 with the folder.
I'll allow a Frankie.
For the memes.
I'll allow a Frankie. But
I would also allow that, yeah.
But I'm not going to lie. I'm very, very impressed with Berettas. Very impressed.
As budget line as the A300 is, I have been running it now for over half a year, and it is surprised me with how good it is. Yeah. I thought I was going to have a little bit of buyer's remorse going with that instead of the 1301.
And
I do not. Not at all. The only thing I was not happy about, which I have fixed with a rat tail file, there was a wee bit of a burr underneath the back of the trigger guard that was rubbing one of my fingers so raw that it was giving me a blister, and I was bleeding in the middle of Trek's class because it blew the blister open.
That seems very un-Beretta.
Yeah. Right here. It ended up, yeah. Oh, nice.
Raggle with the A300. That's what I'm saying.
Fantastic. That's a good one.
Yeah. That seems very un-Beretta. I haven't had any hot spots, rough spots, or anything on mine.
I mean, look, I'm in manufacturing. You've worked in blue-collar trades. Everybody has a bad day, man.
Yeah.
All it takes is missing it once. And you know what? I had a rat tail file in the garage, just 2 little passes with that. Hasn't been a problem since.
Yeah, I mean, everybody is familiar with the Monday morning and the Friday afternoon products that come out of the shop. Like, it's just...
Exactly.
It's unavoidable.
Everybody has a bad day now and then.
Yeah. All right, so we got a couple of things to cover. First of all is Nick wanted to talk about Rebels Raider dropped gear for Christmas. I actually did a little bit of promotion for Rebel on Christmas morning. Actually, yeah, I dropped on Christmas morning. If y'all don't subscribe to our Instagram, you probably should, because it's goofy and lighthearted and fun. And occasionally you catch me in a mood where I'm ranting and raving about tankies, which can also be entertaining. But in this case, and even my daughter was surprised when she saw this, because she was like, when did you shoot that? Because she was in the house. So what I did, I had this epiphany of like, I have night vision and I have a mount to like take my phone, the phone camera, and nest it up behind the PVS 14. So I turned off all the lights in the house and like film myself first person shooter, like Splinter Cell, sneaking through the house until I got to the bag of Rebels Raider underneath the Christmas tree, and then set it to music and drop that. But Rebels Raiders orders finally went out. Like, they started going out the week before Christmas. I actually got mine a couple of days before. And
yeah, I think I got mine a day or two after you got yours.
Yep. And I'm not going to hold it up here for very long because this thing has a pair of level 4 plates in it. It's got some weight to it.
You know, Rebel undersells this a little bit. He doesn't talk about a lot of the little features in here that I really am a big fan of. I mean, the dude went so far as Velcro for your hoses, for your Camelback or your radio. Dude actually put a tail on the placard for throwing your cummerbund on that you can actually get a hold of with more than one finger. The damn thing's almost as wide as my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And he put tails on the placard, on the cummerbund straps that you can actually reasonably get a hold of.
Yes.
And aren't tiny little pieces of nylon. Dude. Fantastic.
So I have to say, I went into this expecting, after having spoken with him, I went into this expecting good stitching. I went into this expecting like good quality. It's the little things I really wasn't expecting. Like, you opened the plate bag up and put your plates in, right?
Yeah.
Have you tried to take them back out?
Oh, it's a motherfucker.
He has the most tenacious goddamn Velcro I've ever felt on a plate carrier inside that plate carrier. It is not coming apart without a fist fight.
No, it is.
The material. The materials do not feel budget.
No.
Nothing about this thing feels budget. If you told me this was a $350 plate carrier, I would not be shocked. I guess what I'm saying is, like, I went into this experience buying this plate carrier expecting it to be three things. First of all, it was an enormous upgrade over the last two plate carriers I played with, one of which was an old Condor, and the other was the godforsaken thing I was issued in 2003 when I was in Iraq. So,
yeah,
reasonable expectation. I went into this expecting it to be like well thought out, like a modern plate carrier, and it is. Yeah, everything I've seen about it, everything I've handled so far, it is kind of what I went into this expecting. It is very modern. It is very much, I don't want to say it's like all the others because that kind of undersells it, but like there's nothing here that makes me think to myself, wow, he missed the ball. He missed an opportunity. The thing I was hoping for that I wasn't fully prepared for was just the quality of materials used. It's not thin nylon. It's thick. It's very durable. The Velcro is premium. The Velcro is very well stitched to everything. Like nothing about this so far makes me think that I'm going to be replacing this or taking it apart in the next several years. It's built like a brick shithouse, and that's very impressive to me for a company that, like, I understand that Rebel has the background from having worked for Kanai before, but as a company, Rebels Raiders is not that old, and this is their second gear drop, and this is not the product you expect from a company this new. It's very well thought out.
I would agree. Phil, and I've mentioned on the podcast before, my prior plate carrier that I've been using for the last 10 years, an Ares Armored Derma. You guys can see how absolutely faded to crap and beat up this thing is.
Yeah. Well loved.
Yes, that is an accurate term. The stitching on Rebel's carrier, it is all double line stitch at minimum. And just about everything on the Derma is all single line stitched. Which, to be fair, this was not the most expensive plate carrier at the time when I bought it. But it was extremely highly recommended. I've had this plate carrier for, like I said, 10 years. I've been running it an awful lot. It doesn't really show up on camera, but I've had to fishing line sew this thing back together about 8 or 9 different times now. I'm going to hold my judgment on Rebel stitching because I will beat the crap out of this for the next 10 years. And we'll see how it holds up. But the line that they used to stitch this looks thicker than what was on the Derma originally. Yeah. What little bit that is left of it. It's got more passes of stitching than the Derma had, which I was really happy to see. I've not found anything on it I don't like. Hell, Phil, do you have trauma pads behind your plates?
Mm-mm.
This thing, if I can get it open.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get it open on camera. Oh, there it is. So level 4 ceramics with trauma pads behind them. Yeah, is it a tight fit? Little bit. That's kind of what you want. But instead of having a single pass of 2-inch Velcro holding your plates in, it's 2 passes of 2-inch Velcro.
And it's a fist fight to get it back open.
Oh yeah, you're never going to have that come open unless you're really working for it.
No, it is a two-handed, like, bite your lip job to get that thing back open. I do have a couple of questions I have to go through.
Yeah.
So Morgan asks, is he prior military? He's a Marine.
Yep.
It's a thing with Marines where there is no prior Marine. They're all Marines, whether they're still active or not. And I love my jarheads. Like, love them to death.
Some of my favorite people.
Some of my favorite people are Uncle Sam's Misguided Children.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so like I said, I am super impressed with the Vicarian so far. I've been taking some time to like slowly put it together. I mean, y'all can't see it thankfully because I'm covering most of it, but like my entire office is a fucking disaster area. Like
I've got a 4x6 game table that is covered with all my kit I'm moving around.
Yeah, well, I mean, between Christmas and Christmas insanity and my daughter being sick and then me being sick and then, you know, just between all the stuff that's gone on lately, I have had a limited amount of time to like fool with this, try to put it together. That how we set these Vicarians up probably dictates some good pictures, so we're not doing this in front of the camera, and like a more in-depth discussion at a later date, because I haven't even like worn this thing more than 3 or 4 times to know if I like where everything is on it. Like like I told Nick, what I do is when I put together, whether it's a war belt or a chest rig or a plate carrier, I put it together, I put it on, I run dry fire drills, and within about 5 reps, I know if I'm going to rip it apart, redo it or not. Yeah. Haven't even gotten that far.
I have done some dry fire drills with mine. I have done some reload drills with mine, and I did a weightlifting workout in mine just to feel how it moves on my body. Not that it really helps your workout at all. It kind of just gets in the way, but that's sort of the point.
Yeah.
Moving your body in different ways that you're not necessarily thinking about when you're putting everything together. And honestly, it is as comfortable as my Derma was originally, which is phenomenal because that was the most comfortable carrier I had tried up to that point. I had tried 4 or 5.
Yeah. Well, shock and awe, this is by far more comfortable, more stable than the old Condor was.
Well, yeah. I mean, did the Condor have a back panel, a solid back panel?
It did have a solid back panel. It did not have a cummerbund.
Okay, so there's just part of your problem.
Yeah. Now, I will say this much, like comparing it to like, what is it, the IOTV or whatever was the issues back in 03, which was literally a freaking vest that had plate bags in the front and back of it.
Yeah.
It's much more, what's the word I'm looking for here, Nick? It's much less in the way than that was.
I would agree with that. It's much more ergonomic.
Yes.
Despite having worn one, but not for as long as you, I hated it.
Oh yeah, there was nothing nice or comfortable about them. But I mean, they were, to be fair, like the IOTV was early GWatt.
'Twas better than no body armor.
Yes. But needless to say, even the guys that deployed in like 05, 06 were already swapping those things out for better stuff. So anyway, much better than that. Much better than the Condor. I am very impressed with it so far. I just need some time with it to really figure it out. And I haven't even, the apothecary is still in the bag.
I got mine out. It's not set up yet. I'm going through all my first aid kit, deciding exactly what's going to go in that.
And that's the next thing I need to do is I need to like take it out, really take a good look at it and figure out like, because you and I've had this conversation. I don't do I don't do this thing some people do where like I have a new piece of equipment, I take all the kit out of the old equipment, put in the new equipment. I don't do that. I already have a pack that is set up for hiking.
Mm-hmm.
It's got an IFAK in it. It's going to stay together because it's still a hiking pack. I'm going to buy all new stuff for the apothecary, and if I decide to use this as a hiking kit, I'm just going to have 2 of them. So every kit is preloaded and ready to go, and I need to take a good look at this and do some horse trading on like, okay, how much stuff do I fit in here? What kind of stuff do I fit in here? I mean, I kind of have my own ideas.
Morgan's got a good question. Do we run a dump pouch? On my belt, yes, I do.
I have not up till now, but like I was telling Nick right before the show, I'm actually going to be retooling my old war belt probably in the next few months, and I'm going to put a dump pouch on it for the first time.
You know, the reason why I got into a dump pouch was honestly IPSC and 3-gun. Because what I was doing was some of the guys running the IDPA and the IPSC and the 3-gun were very much sticklers about mag retention. If you did a tactical reload and you dropped that magazine and there was a round in it, you were docked points.
Fair.
So every magazine, and this may be a bit of a training scar for me, every magazine, regardless of its status, out of the gun, into the dump pouch, new magazine, into the gun.
I mean, here's the thing, though.
For what I was doing at the time, made sense.
And, you know, outside of the realm of, like, IPSC, IDPA, USPSA, and all that, like, from a combat perspective, I can't disagree with that because, like, so here's my spiel about magazines. When you have a flag on your shoulder and you are under orders from the DoD, magazines are ostensibly basically disposable.
Oh, absolutely they are.
But that doesn't mean you leave the stupid things all over the ground if you can retain them, because it's still a magazine, it's still a piece of fighting equipment, it's still worth keeping. And magazines in a dump pouch or a pocket don't get stepped on and ruined or fill full of sand.
Yep.
So there's lots of
good
okay.
You say that until you're belly dragging through a sandy gravel pit, and then all your mags are full of sand anyway.
They're less likely to get jacked up. So like there's good.
I've definitely had mags lock up on me in a gravel pit.
Yeah. There's definitely less. I mean, there's definitely good incentive to have a dump pouch. I'd never got into them though, because like when I was in uniform, I had these great big old huge cargo pockets on my legs, and it wasn't anything to just drop a mag in there. I mean, I was carrying my dump pouches with me. I'm sure you're familiar with military uniforms. Lots of pockets.
Oh, yeah. Lots of big cargo pockets. I got away from those pants when I would run 3-gun for 2 reasons. One, I was always blowing out the crotch on those damn things. I could never keep a pair of them for more than
they
a
are
couple
also
weeks.
Disposable.
They are. And number 2, slightly stretchy, more athletic fitted pants surprisingly let you move easier, and they're more comfortable. Yeah, turns out lowest bidder military uniforms suck compared to modern athletic wear.
Well, there's a reason why my day-to-day, even if I'm like out hiking or in the woods, my day-to-day wear is like the Wrangler, the work pants that have the zipper pockets up on the thighs.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't run around BDU pants anymore. There's a reason for that. Also the reason why I'm probably going to wind up putting a dump pouch on my war belt, because like, you know, things change over time.
They do. And I found now that I've started doing more shotgun classes, the dump pouch works excellently for just throwing a shitload of shells on your belt.
Fanny packs work really well.
Fanny packs for shotguns work great. The class I ran with Andrew, I would dump a box of 25 shells into my dump pouch. I would throw a shotgun card on the 2 Velcros on my shotgun, and then 2 in my belt. And I was able to shoot without having to step off the firing line for quite a long time. I mean, so let's see, 7, 7, 7, and 7. So 28 plus 25 plus the 7 in the gun, because we're ghost loading, because why would you not? Right. So that's a not inconsiderable amount of lead, considering they're all 3/4 ounces.
Yeah. Anyway, so we kind of beat ourselves to the punch on this, but upcoming projects. I mean, Vicarian's being played with, Apothecary's being played with, my Warbelt's getting an overhaul.
I might do a Phil. And sew my own hiking bag. I need a camelback-ish style bag that is not the ultra skinny girl runner, no neck, narrow shoulder straps. Yeah, I don't know if you ever noticed on backpacks, Phil, but their shoulder straps are always about that fucking far apart.
Yeah, they're made for people
they rub your
necks.
neck raw. Yeah.
It sounds to me
either
like
I gotta wear a collared shirt or I gotta deal with chafing on my neck, which sucks.
Or you just get like an H harness, like from an Army surplus store,
or the H harness that came with Rebel's kit that we just got.
I'm keeping that on standby in case I decide to run the Apothecary as a chest rig.
Morgan, that's kind of the plan. I'm actually thinking what I might do is rig the H harness that came with the medical pouch with this old shotgun scabbard that I used to run not a shotgun in, but a water bladder in. I've modified it to hold my 3-liter water bladder. Thinking that plus H harness plus maybe a couple other things to get some medical on there and a way to mount my trekking poles to the outside, and we might be in very good shape.
Well, I mean, you and I have had that conversation before about, playing tactical tailor, because I put it this way, years and years and years and years and years ago, when I was making almost a third of what I am now. In order to make sure that I could actually make field gear that was minimum mission capable but fit my needs, I got an old Vietnam era AK chest rig where you got the 4 cells up front and the 2 grenade pockets on the sides.
Yeah, I know the exact rig you're talking about.
Yeah. And after an afternoon of sewing, let's see here, I took all the wooden toggles off and replaced all that with Velcro. I made some little spacers to go in the bottom of the mag pockets that would prop up an AR magazine just enough that it would stand at the right level, because they were originally made for AK pockets, for AK mags, which are a little bit taller.
They are.
I took one of the 2 grenade pockets, made it into a little admin pouch to hold some medical stuff. I took the other one, sewed a row stitching down the center of it to make it into a twin pistol mag pouch.
Oh.
And, tried to ghetto modify this thing into somewhat of a more modern rig. I still have it hanging up in the closet with a whole bunch of other stuff. It still works. I could pull the spacers out, throw AK mags in it. I could leave the spacers in, run AR mags. It's set up to run pistol mags for ostensibly a Glock 19 size magazine. It's not going to fit a really tall boy like my CZP09 will, but my carry gun, my CZ Compact fits those perfect.
Nice.
And it was, I think, a $15 Vietnam era, canvas chest rig, and
I want to say
afternoon of sewing.
I want to say at one point Sportsman's Choice had them for $13.99. If you bought anything else with them, they would send it to you.
Yeah, Morgan's saying it's a militia handout. To me, it's just it's the reason I did that. It's the reason I built the what Stuart calls the MERS, the man purse, which is the bag for the CZ Scorpion, and it's got 4 CZ Scorpion mags plus a whole IFAC sitting in there. The reason I build stuff like that, and the reason I encourage other people to do it, is because it teaches you skills.
Yeah.
The ability to think through how to modify a garment, how to sew, how to make things work. Because while I would love to say that there's always the ability to go out there on Amazon or eBay or, go on to the wilds of the internet and order exactly what you have in mind, the flat fact of the matter is one day we might be in a situation where you kind of need to make your own shit.
It also makes you a little bit more diligent about your setup too, because you really don't have the opportunity to take it apart easily and put it back together like a Molly rig.
Yeah.
Molly rig, you throw stuff on there. Okay, great. In 20 minutes, you can reconfigure the whole thing, which is nice, but are you as diligent about the first time setup?
Yeah. Well, it also teaches you all the skills you need to modify a piece of gear or repair a piece of gear.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, you and I have been talking about this. I did not set out to be a milsurp collecting person. But...
Oops.
So my father-in-law was breaking up his old gun collection, and of the various firearms that were, being like kind of floated to the broad family, the three daughters and their families, husbands, kids, and everybody else saying, hey, like all these are up for grabs. Who wants what? I had told my wife, I'm interested in like a couple of these things, and it was really like, there's an old Marlin 22 semi-auto tube fed, beautiful old 22, and it's like I told my wife, I'm like, I don't want anything he has that's modern because I have all the modern guns I want. Yeah. I like old stuff I can't go buy anymore. Like this old Marlin that looks on the face of it like it's from the 80s at the earliest or at the most recent. Got an old 22 revolver from him, and I intend to use both those to go plinking with my wife and daughter, teach my daughter to shoot.
Absolutely.
And one of the guns that came up was an old SKS that was not well liked. I have it on good authority from multiple family members. It never really ran well, didn't feed well, didn't like sluggish gas system, all kinds of problems.
And I have two guesses for why.
Well, don't beat me to the punchline. And basically, the short version is everybody was kind of like, not interested. So I told Gillian, I'm like, okay, put my hand up, put my name on it. I'll take it. And I promptly put it on my rifle rest and ripped it apart. Figured out really fast why it wasn't running right, because it was stuffed with cosmoline.
Every goddamn time.
Fuck it out. Listen, but
it's always cosmoline. Anybody you know that has bought a com block weapon, have you ever seen one that was not chock full of fucking cosmoline?
This is my second one.
Paint scrapers worth out of the stocks.
So previous to this, I had I still have it, but I bought a Saiga, and God, that thing didn't. That thing had a little cosmoline in it. Okay, like a little like it was enough cosmoline. I was able to take a can of brake cleaner and a can of Ballistol and just and blast most of it out. It was fine. It was fine. It was fine. It was really okay. This son of a bitch, I had to go get friggin' pipe cleaners to get all the cosmoline out of every little nook and cranny. It was packed down in the fire control group, which thank God it's easy. I mean, on the Saiga, I literally just took the whole fire control group out and just hosed down with carb cleaner. That fixed that problem. The SKS, you really don't want to disassemble the fire control group, but it pulls out fairly easily. The entire gas tube was filled with cosmoline. The entire gas tube. The front side block that has a little bitty piston extension, that was also filled with cosmoline.
Every time.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Phil, do you remember when Cabela's ran the deal where if you bought a case of Mosins, you got 10 of the spam crates, not spam cans, 10 of the spam crates with it?
No.
Okay, this was like in the late 2000s, let's say 2009, maybe 2010. So me and my buddies were just getting into shooting at that point. And we were like, 10 guns and 10 cases of ammo? Yes, please. So we popped down to Cabela's and we bought it. When we walked in, the guy was like, you want this? It's like, yeah. It's like, they're still in the original packaging. It's like, that's the point. Yeah, we'll take it. Phil, you want to guess what weight in cosmoline we pulled off those rifles before we disassembled them?
I don't know, about a pound each.
Almost a pound and a half each of cosmoline. Just after unwrapping the paper off of it, it was painted on there. Like if you guys have ever been in an old shitty college apartment, how they've painted over everything, switches, outlets, everything doesn't matter. They looked like that covered in cosmoline. You couldn't tell where the stock ended and the barrel began.
Excellent.
It was amazing. I've still got 2 of them.
Oh, I keep having to go back and catch these comments. So Morgan, the Marlin, it's a Model 990.
Oh, nice.
Not familiar with it. Haven't even had a chance to like take it out to the garage and disassemble it. Try to clean, just clean it, verify everything looks well. But like from running the action and the fact that that's been shot fairly recently, it seems like a nice little 22.
There's not a lot to go wrong with them.
I mean,
there's not really. And what goes wrong is the magazine spring and the tube goes bad. You pop a new one in your set.
Yeah, it felt pretty good.
Good.
But anyway, so yeah, this poor thing was packed with cosmoline. It had been converted over to duckbill magazines. Now, listen to me. For anybody out there that has an SKS in original as delivered condition, and you think to yourself, wow, this thing would look so much nicer if it had a duckbill mat, like a big old 30 or 20 round magazine on it. Please, please, please pick the nearest wall and run face first into it at full speed.
No.
Nick, I will
sporterizing
no. I will hear no bullcrap about this.
Is a time-honored pastime.
But there's never been an SKS converted duckbill magazines that ran worth of shit. They all have trouble feeding. Yeah. They all have trouble friggin' feeding. They all have trouble feeding. None of the stupid things work well. It aggravates the crap out of me, by the way, because an SKS is not exactly like a frontline comm block weapon, but they're pretty freaking nice rifles. Like, they work well. Yeah, they shoot very accurately. Rifle. They feed well. And these people screw them up. I am fine with modifying a firearm. I've done it plenty. But if you're going to modify it, make it better, not worse.
Okay, but I do have one point of order there, Phil.
You can be wrong. Only point of order. I will allow you to be wrong. Go for it. What you got?
Have those SKSs that you have that you know of that ran poorly with a duckbill magazine adapter? Have you checked them for cosmoline and the goddamn gas tube? Because I bet you put that duckbill adapter on that SK that you've got now that it's clean, I bet it runs better than it did with it.
So let me tell you what the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
You see this right here?
I see that.
This is not the magazine that was intended to be equipped on an SKS.
It's true.
This is some Tapco bullcrap.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
magazine engineering is hard, yes.
Now, anybody who's never engineered your own firearm, and a lot of y'all haven't, but take my word on it, the magazine is one of the more difficult things to engineer correctly. As evidenced by the fact that most people that make a new firearm use an existing magazine, because that's the hard part. And if you have a good magazine, most other things can be worked out. When CZ came out with the Scorpion, all of a sudden everybody wants to use Scorpion mags. You know why? They're cheap and they work.
They just function.
Why do you think so many homebrew guns out there use Glock mags? Because they're cheap and they work.
Yeah.
This stupid thing was engineered by Bubba in a shed, and it doesn't work. It doesn't lock up solidly. It doesn't feed correctly. It's junk. Stop putting these in SKSs. Just stop it.
I'm just saying that I think a lot of the reason why you see modified SKSs suck is because the people that are modding the SKS don't know to clean them as thoroughly as need to be cleaned when they first got it. So they got it. It ran like crap. They're like, I'm going to mod it because worst case, it still runs like crap. They mod it. It doesn't really get any worse. Doesn't really get any better. And it's just a fun, safe gun. And then they go buy an AR or an AK.
Yes. Well, there's also the fact that it was in one of those god-awful fiberglass folding stocks.
Oh, that doesn't help either.
No, it doesn't help.
Those stocks were never good.
No, like there are folding stocks out there that have nice solid lockup and don't jiggle around, and like those are okay, but Morgan. So I live in South Louisiana, which isn't really redneck land, but it's Kunaz land, and that's
it's a little bit different.
Close.
It's more swampy than redneck land.
Yes, but I'm also like 20 minutes away from Mississippi, so I'm familiar with where redneck land is.
True.
And yes, it could have been Pro Mag Raggle, but it wasn't. It was Tapco, which is just as bad. But anyway, all that being
There are some Tapco mags that work,
but
sometimes.
But none of these. Stop
No.
Bubba-ing milsurps. Anyway, but
you know what? I might convert that Mosin to a Yugo MG barrel just to mess with you.
Okay, but it slightly annoys me less to do it to a Mosin because Mosins were pretty crappy rifles right out of the gate.
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially mine. I mean, mine's a late war, so I'm not even sure the heat treat's okay on it.
Yeah. But after weeks of sourcing parts and frustration...
Oh, it looks right again.
It is right again. I am short a crossbolt / recoil lug, which is
important.
I am just waiting for it to get shipped. Other than that, when I got this thing, it was a barreled action. That is the original gas tube, and a cleaning rod, and that was it. So I sourced the stock. I sourced a period correct surplus canvas sling.
Mm-hmm.
I actually correctly sourced, because with these canvas slings for these Chinese SKSs, there's actually 2 of them out there. One of them has leather tabs on the end, and one of them has these metal springs. This was typical of the later SKSs. And this SKS, based on the serial number, was manufactured like 1976. So got the correct sling for it. It is a Chinese stock, so I'm trying not to mix and match. Bearing in mind that these things were made in several different countries.
I was going to say there's Chinese stocks, and I don't know if you have a picture for the fitment on that stock.
So yeah, don't beat me to the punchline. We'll talk about the stock here in a second. And as of today, that Chinese Spiker bayonet showed up in the mailbox, and the surplus cleaning kit, which is in the buttstock. So at this point, I am short a crossbolt recoil lug, and that's it. This thing is like all together, ready to rock and roll. I converted back to a fixed box magazine, and I haven't had a chance to get to the range yet, but just running dummy rounds through it, it feeds perfectly now.
Good. Well, the spring pressure is correct for the bolt's return spring.
Yeah. I don't know. My other gripe with like a lot of these duckbill magazines is like, the idea was that basically what you have to do to replace them is you have to actually lock the bolt to the rear, because the bolt on an SKS has these 2 rails that interface with the very top of the box magazine, to where like to remove the box magazine, you have to pull the bolt out of the weapon, or at minimum lock it all the way to the rear.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it'll like the 2 rails on the bottom of the bolt will hold on to the magazine. Well, it does the same thing with all these replaceable duckbill magazines. So technically, you have to lock the bolt of the bolt to the rear in order to be able to drop the magazine out. But most of these magazines don't correctly hit the bolt hold open. So when the magazine runs dry, the bolt slams forward.
You can't pull the mag out.
You can't. Yeah, you literally have to like hold the friggin' bolt to the rear and try to jimmy the magazine. It's the dumbest thing on earth. Versus the way an SKS was built to run, which is, mags empty,
bolt hold open, stripper clips.
Bolt slabs to the rear and stops, stripper clip through the top, pull the bolt, let it rock, and then 10 more rounds, you're ready to go.
Were you able to source stripper clips for it?
I've got 30 of them.
That's not a bad number.
I actually found 10 in my father-in-law's. He had a huge crate of ammo that I've been parting out with because as the family has been saying, that's the gun I want, that's the gun I want. Whatever ammo went to those guns went with those guns.
Yeah, as it should be. What good is a gun without bullets?
Yeah. But as I was going through all that, I found a pack of 10 stripper clips, and then I ordered 20 more.
Nice.
And I have a Type 56 bandolier on order.
You might as well. Now what you got to do is find a Stalingrad match near you, or come up and shoot the Stalingrad match with me next year.
And I'm just guessing, February. I'm just guessing that an SKS runs afoul of absolutely zero of Illinois' stupid laws.
It's actually in Wisconsin where the match is that I like to go to. But it's held in February regardless of the weather, because Stalingrad, the battle, was held regardless of the weather.
You do know that I don't own any clothing warm enough for Wisconsin in February.
You're not that much different size wise than me, Phil. I can set you up. I've got some Carhartt gear. You'll be fine.
This is alarming, but I'll take it into consideration. Anyway,
I think the last match I shot there, it was minus 25 and blowing snow. Geez. And so, yeah, it was a good time.
Me and Raggle live like an hour away from each other, and I think he and I are feeling the same thing about like, oof, -20.
The guy organizing the match showed up in full original Russian surplus uniforms of the period, including the big heavy overcoat. He was sweating. He was too warm.
Oh, that just makes my heart hurt.
It was fun.
But anyway, so yeah, that's been the project I've been working on most recently, is trying to bring this old SKS back to life, and it is coming along. And other than that is the thing that I did start working on, fell off the wagon because of the holidays and getting sick, and you've been working on, and that's both of us fighting the Battle of the Bulge.
Yes, sir.
You've been really dedicated to it, and I'm proud of you for that.
I've been hitting it pretty hard. We were able to take advantage of some of the sales online on a little bit of exercise equipment. I got myself a squat rack, Smith machine, whatever you want to call it. One of the relatively cheap Amazon ones, Goru or whatever. It was on a deal for like, I want to say $800 for almost 300 pounds of weights, a bar, a bench, the rack, and all that. And I find I am a lot more likely to use workout equipment if I don't have to go somewhere else to do so. Now, I know not everybody is blessed with as much space in my ranch house basement as I am, but I had enough room to stick that on the other side of my bar because, of course, I live in Illinois. My basement has a bar. But I've been hitting that pretty hard pretty much every day. I'm not seeing any weight loss, but I shouldn't be at this point, given that I'm focusing on strength training. What about you?
Yeah, I told my wife the other day that the holidays are over. It is time to put down the snacks and get back to the walking. And the only thing, like, I don't know if you can hear it, I am still fighting congestion.
You do sound terrible. You sound like me in the fall.
Yeah, well, I'll put it this way. Whatever I caught from my daughter the day after Christmas, that evening, I started feeling bad. And the next morning, now, like you and I might have talked about this, I don't nap during the day. Once I wake up in the morning, I am up and I'm moving until bedtime. I slept on and off most of that day. Couldn't stay awake. I mean, I'd be sitting in my recliner and just nod off out of nowhere. So like whatever got a hold of me was viral and it just flattened me. And I'm still dealing with the cough, the congestion, the phlegm. But it was like I told my wife, I'm like, we got to get back at it, even if I got to cough and hack all the way through it. So,
yeah.
But
I get it.
I am closing. I am between 250 and 260, and that's just too freaking heavy for me being 5'11". So I am fortunate in the fact that I don't have to work too hard to maintain my muscle mass. Like I have one of those bodies that does the opposite thing, where it's like it's not the holding on to muscle I have the problem with. It's all the fluff that comes with it.
Sure, your body naturally wants to accrete calories.
Yeah.
And look, there are different body types, and there are people that have that are more predisposed to weight gain. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But it all comes down to calories in, calories out. And if you can't decrease because of your hypoglycemia, you can't really decrease your calories in too much. You need to increase your calories out. That's the only way to go.
Yeah. And the truth of the matter is that, walking in the evenings and some basic exercise
does a hell of a lot.
I need it as much for the cardio as I do any other reason.
Sure.
So, I mean, that's just going to be a thing. We got to get back on it. And it's in both me and my wife's best interest, but during the holidays
Everybody's.
and with illness and with just crap, you know, we fall off the wagon a little bit. So we got to get back at it.
I made a very deliberate decision when we got all the components finally in, because it shipped in like 27 boxes. It was stupid.
Nice.
And it got it all in here. I made a very deliberate decision that I was not going to go as extreme as my personality wants to do. When I first took up weightlifting when I was in high school, I got into it pretty big because I was like, I'm actually okay at this. I'm going to do just this. And Phil, I know you get those temptations just as bad as I do, but I lock myself into 30 minutes of either cardio or weightlifting a day. I get as much done as I can in 30 minutes, not including warm-up stretches and cool-down stretches, because that shit is not optional, especially for guys like you and me who are over the age of 30.
Yeah, especially when you're over the age of 40.
Hey, stretching only gets more important the older you get, because if it lowers your chance of injury, it lowers your latent muscle soreness and your muscle soreness the next day, and you just feel better afterwards. But my wife is correct, Phil. You need to try some throat coat tea with honey.
So I won't say no. I will say that in my experience, like throat coat works better if you have a dry tickle, and I don't have a dry tickle type of cough. I have
the honey helps.
The honey might help, but all of my coughing is just 100% post-nasal drip down the back of the throat, piles up in the bronchial tubes, and I got to cough it out. It's,
you know what I found?
My whole head is a mucus factory.
The hot tea, if you breathe in the vapor off the hot tea, that helps that as well.
Ooh, maybe it's an excuse to drink more hot coffee.
Yes,
it can't.
As long as you're inhaling the vapors, I would say.
Challenge accepted.
Inhale the vapors of the hot tea or the hot coffee.
Babe, it's medicinal.
But it is medicinal coffee. It's medicinal for your coworkers as well, because you're less likely to apply apprentice motivation to your coworkers.
Percussive maintenance.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, Phil, I mean, I don't know how big, I don't know if you have room in your house for exercise devices. Do you? Okay.
You are looking at the
body weight fitness.
Yeah. And that's
your key.
And that's a lot of what I've done in the past. And I mean, it works. It's just, it seems like when it comes to like us and our fitness routine, we do pretty good at for a while, and then we just crash headfirst into a wall, and that wall is always somebody gets sick, some kind of hell breaks loose, and you know, we're spending every friggin' spare minute dealing with crap. It's always something.
Have you tried yoga?
Yes. I actually used to do it with my daughter.
Because you can do that even when you're ill, and it actually does help. Because it gets everything moving in your body, gets your body moving around, gets the blood flowing better. You know, I'm not one to buy into all the hippy dippy bullshit, but I mean, just moving a little bit in controlled, slow forms like yoga does, I think it helps.
Yeah. Well, I will say that, like, I try to make it a point. And it sounds like the lowest hanging fruit, and it really is. But I mean, even low hanging fruit helps. But like, I try to make a point of like park at further away from the door at work, so I have to walk across a whole parking lot to get to the office. Go up and down the stairs instead of taking the elevator. Like, you know, I try, because you and I've had this conversation. Like, so much of my job involves sitting in a computer chair in front of a computer.
Absolutely.
And it's either typing into a spreadsheet, building code in the friggin' database. It's always something. And I try to plan moments in my day where I'm going to have to get up and walk around. Even if it's just like, I could call somebody on Teams to have a conversation with them, or I could just go up or down a floor and talk to them in person. It's any excuse to get up out of my desk and go walk.
Hey man, any study that's ever been done on desk-based work and chair-based work will tell you it's absolutely horrible for you, and you need to get up and move around at least every half hour. And those little habits, man, they add up a ton. You know, do you have an app on your phone that'll track your steps?
I do. Actually, I mean,
Okay.
I wear an Apple Watch, but yeah.
Okay. Do an experiment for me. It's going to suck. Do this experiment for me. Do a week where you don't do that. And then a week where you do, and compare the physical activity difference. I bet you it's more than double.
I hate to say it, I can't. Like,
Okay.
I really cannot, because half the reason I get up and walk around isn't even for the exercise. It is purely because, like, my back and my hips
Sure.
start hurting after a while if I sit too long. So
then don't bother.
Yeah.
Then don't bother. Because I can tell you right now, I have had friends and coworkers that have done that experiment, and they have found that their activity level is at least double when they make the excuse to go just that little bit farther. Instead of getting water in like the sink in the bathroom, they walk across the building to go to the break room to get water out of the sink. And that increased their activity a ton, more than people would believe.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just got to make some good decisions and start getting the weight back under control.
You got to build the small healthy habits, and that's the key. If you can do something, what is it? Habit building takes 4 weeks of consistency. I think it was.
Sounds about right.
If you do something every day for 4 weeks, you've established a habit. So if you can establish that habit of just an extra 20 minutes of activity a day, 15, 20 minutes, half hour, whatever you have room for in your day, you build that healthy habit in, you're just going to default to doing it after a month or two. Heck, after 3-4 months, you're not even going to think about it. It's just going to be the thing you do after whatever, after dinner, after work. I get home from work, and the first thing I do is I walk in, put my lunchbox away, throw on my gym shorts, and go down and work out now. It's not a consideration in my head of if I'm going to do it, of if I feel like doing it. It's just, no. After work, we go work out at the same time every day.
I think it needs to happen.
It does.
So do we want to tackle this last little topic or no? I don't think it's going to take more than 20 minutes, a half hour.
Let's go for it.
All right. So this has been making the rounds in like the gun spaces recently. And FRTs and super safeties, and for anybody that doesn't know what those are, like, Google it for God's sakes. Come on, guys. Like, catch up a little bit.
It's like, simulated full auto.
Yeah, I don't even like calling it that. What it does, what a force reset trigger literally does is that as the bolt slams backwards, it
pushes the trigger forwards.
Here's the thing.
Largely.
Most people out here that have shot really crappy ARs have felt trigger slap.
Yeah. It's kind of intentional trigger slap.
It is intentional, very aggressive trigger slap. So it causes the trigger to push your finger forward, and then as the bolt comes back forward, it goes back into battery, it takes that pressure away. So this is not full auto, because if you just pin that trigger to the rear and don't let it come forward, the gun will stop.
It. Yeah.
What it does do is it means that if you get just the right amount of pressure on there, you can pull that trigger a whole heck of a lot faster than otherwise you can, unless your last name is Mitchellek.
Yeah. That guy's spooky fast, even with double action revolvers.
Yes. But the question has been coming up recently of, like, is this like a slide fire, or is this like another range toy? Is this another bump stock? Or is there a legitimate purpose for these things, for like the prepared citizen, for the person's interested in home defense, for the people that are kind of in the same mindset we are?
Phil, you were in the military. I was not.
Briefly, yes.
What is the purpose of full auto fire in the military?
So one of two, almost like you read the banners.
I did not. I'm reading the chats.
Oh, so there
I am unprepared.
There were two primary purposes for full auto, whether you're talking, or not full auto, but let's call it select fire.
Sure.
Because whether you're talking about like 3-round bursts on M16A2, or you're talking about full automatic on an A1 or an A4, you're talking about full like bursts out of a an M249 or an M240 GP medium machine gun, like select fire full auto has two primary purposes. One is you're being assaulted, you need to break contact. I need to put all the lead into the air right now and make you put your head down so that me and my guys can break contact and get out of, get off the X, get out of the kill box.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's one. Two is to initiate an assault with overwhelming force. In other words, like we have 5 guys, we're about to assault a group bigger than us or smaller than us. And for the initial kickoff of that firefight, I need, again, all the lead in the air to make you either put your head down so that we can advance on your position or scatter or do something dumb. Mm-hmm. That's the entire purpose of select fire / full auto in the military. It serves no other purpose. You like, even once you are into extremely close contact like CQB, you're still not going to be using select fire terribly often because it's an ammo hog.
I would argue there's a third use.
What you got?
Early modern Chinese wave attacks. Defense from such.
Okay.
If you have a wildly target-rich environment in an open area of engagement, say World War I style trench attacks, that's another, I would say, justifiable use of full auto or burst or select fire.
Yep.
Suppressing fire. Yeah. Basically what it is. I mean, if you have to bring it to video game terms, a Zerg Rush style attack where you have a human wall coming towards you and you need to put all of the bullets into them as fast as possible, that's what it's there for. But
I agree with that with a couple of caveats.
Sure.
That only So I'm going to echo what Jeff Jag is saying here, is that its use case is limited. Because in the scenario you're talking about, it only works under 2 conditions, and that is either that you're dealing with a bipod or a tripod mounted weapon where you can like very tightly control the elevation and you can put all the lead into kind of a line.
Chest height. Kneecap to nipple height.
Yeah. Or you're at such a close range that even with the gun doing this, you're still going to get kneecap to nipples. Because if you're talking about a human wave attack, freehand or like shooting off your elbows from say 150, 200 yards out, to
foxhole position,
you're right back in the situation where you're better off semi-automatic,
aimed fire.
Yes. And so that's kind of my spiel. And like I told Nick, like I spent a brief stint as a saw gunner for my platoon, which anybody that's never played with an M249, like, it sounds a lot cooler than it is.
They jam a shocking amount.
They jam a lot. They weigh a lot. They don't play very nice. And we're gonna get to the downsides here.
I had the good fortune of shooting a 249 at a machine gun shoot. Pass. In the future, I would pass on that.
Yeah.
If you gave me one, I would not say no, because duh. But the RPK was more fun.
Yeah. So like that's kind of my thing, is that within those narrow confines as far as usage, yes, full auto select fire is an enormous force multiplier in a fight. It is an enormous help. It is arguably the only way with any reasonable size force to be able to put enough lead into the air to break contact and get off, get out of the kill box.
Sure.
If you're ambushed. But there is a reason why, and there's at least a couple of guys in the chat right now that I know also served, so like they can back me up on this or tell me I'm full of it, but like my experience is that other than those rare experiences in training where we use full auto, you almost never use it really in uniform. It's got a narrow use case where it's really useful, and everything outside of the use case, you're either putting rounds out that you're accountable for that could cause collateral damage, or you're wasting ammo. So like to me, like there are downsides involved to the use of select fire, full auto, or an FRT or a super safety as well. You are getting more lead into the air, but for those reasons I just listed, more lead into the air can be a problem. And here's the other big problem. Nick, what do you consider to be a combat load for an AR-15? How many mags, how many rounds?
I usually ran 6 when I was
Six
doing
mags?
Yeah, I ran 6 mags on my body and then 1 in the gun when I was
So
doing the competitions.
210 rounds?
Yeah, something like that. 210. I've heard 240, not uncommon. The guys I know that served in active combat would have about that same plus another 5 to 6 mags in their buddy pack on their back for everybody else to get mags from, because you can't reach mags in your own backpack. Those mags are for your friends, and the mags in your friends' backpacks are for you.
Okay, but 6 mags on the front of your plate carrier, right?
210 to 3 on the plate carrier, 3 on the belt, 2 to 3 on the belt, and 1 in the gun.
Okay,
typically.
but stick with me on this.
Sure.
So magazines, they're about yay big. They're fairly flat. You can put a bunch of them in a small space. They're fairly lightweight. Have you ever seen a friggin' bucket of ammo for a saw? It's a lunchbox full of ammo.
It is.
It weighs
it's
a
usually
shitload.
In 200 plus round belts.
And it weighs a shitload, and there is no convenient way to carry it. There's a reason why every single military that's used
vehicle mounted.
I said carried, not mounted.
Vehicle mounted is the only acceptable way to carry machine guns, in my opinion. That shit is heavy.
There's a reason why every single military that has fielded an intermediate or a full power cartridge in a drum magazine has eventually reverted back to stick mags, because the stupid things take up a ton of space and weight. They are not convenient to carry, and this only makes even remotely decent sense if you can distribute the ammo across an entire squad. Like, I'm going to carry a couple of these drums, but I'm going to give you a drum in your buddy pack, and my buddy's going to have a drum, and his buddy's going to have a drum, because in a firefight, I need all your ammo, and you really need me laying down the lead.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about a prepared citizen, a single person, you are not going to have 4 of these freaking drums tied to your chest rig. It's just not going to happen. It is a stupid premise.
Agreed.
Now, I thought about this, though. If we wanted to have that discussion of, like, kind of the middle ground that makes some kind of sense, I would suggest this. Put an FRT in your weapon. I don't like the 2 position super safeties. I don't really like the super safety at all. Like, I love Hoffman Tactical. I love everything it does. I don't like the design of the super safety for one reason only, because the semi-auto function is in the middle of, if you get the 3 position super safeties, you got to slide that super safety halfway over to get to the semi-auto setting, and all the way over is full auto, or
there
is
is
super safe.
An opportunity there for unintentional super safing,
and I think that much like an M16, much like most other weapon systems, as long as you have the option to go back to semi-automatic as well as forced reset, now we're in a position where we can have that capability but not be forced to use it all the time. I think at that moment, if you wanted to tell me, like, hey, Phil, I think this has a use, I would say, okay, get a Magpul D60, stuff it in the weapon. When that is done, you drop it and you go back to regular 30-round mags.
Yeah, I could see that. Have you ever tried to wield an AR with a D60, or worse, the 150 dual snail drums?
You're talking about like the big beta, the old school beta C mags?
Yeah. You ever try those?
I have not, but I cannot imagine they are any heavier than an M249 with a lunchbox on the bottom of it.
They're not. But what they do is they make the weapon entirely unwieldy if you are not in a prone shooting position, in my opinion. Now, I'm a pretty big guy, Phil. I'm 6 foot tall. Like, I'm 225 right now. I don't have a problem carrying the weight of an AR with a 150 mag in it. I've done it. just at a range fucking around. It's not an issue. Where it becomes an issue is target acquisition and changing from target to target to target.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had not a 3-gun match, but a carbine match, a jungle run that they did, where you are walking through the path and you are shooting at targets as they pop up in the woods. The guys that were shooting the bigger mags almost all placed in the bottom half of that.
Believable.
Because number one, the guys that were really good aren't running those,
No.
which should tell you something. And the guys that were okay normally that did try to run them were much slower due to the added weight and awkwardness of the magazine.
So within engineering, there's a thing called the polar moment of inertia.
Yep.
Which basically means, like, if you have a lever and you have 10 pounds of weight and you put it way over here, right by the pivot point, it does not have a huge impact on how fast that lever will pivot around the pivot point. But if you put the 10 pounds all the way out here on the edge, now it has a lot of impact. It's the same weight, but because it's further away from the pivot point, it has a higher moment of inertia.
Absolutely.
It's the reason why sports cars tend to have as light of crash bars and bumpers as humanly possible, because they try to centralize all the weight towards the middle of the vehicle, which makes that vehicle much more nimble feeling, even if it weighs exactly the same.
Yeah, the weight is balanced more appropriately. Now, Phil, Stanag mag, it's about a pound, right? Fully loaded. AR-15 30 rounder.
I'll go with
about
that.
A pound.
I would call
454 grams. So about a pound. So your D60 is 2 pounds, and most of that is now located below your mag well and in a big round drum. The 150 is not 2 pounds. It's like 4 pounds, 5 pounds. Yeah, it's plastics. The plastic's not that much weight, but it's a lot of weight in lead and brass. And that's not located below your gun. That's now located off to either side of your gun. It changes the dynamics of the weight of the weapon quite a lot.
Yeah. Like I said, not debating any of that, just suggesting that, like, if we go through this exercise kind of with, and admittedly, like, my kind of base principles that are baked in from carrying a saw around 25 years ago, you know, if we're primarily considering this something to deal with anti-ambush, break contact and retreat, or if we're dealing with this for like an assault, an initiation of an assault, then really and truly you only need force reset and a high capacity magazine once. You get most of your benefit from that initial burst where you get all the lead in the air. And after that...
I agree. I think you can almost get the same benefit out of a light, short reset competition style trigger.
I'm thinking.
Do a mag dump with a standard mil spec trigger, and then do a mag dump with a Geisley SSAE short reset trigger. I guarantee you the mag dump with the short reset trigger is faster once you're used to it.
Yeah. I guess kind of my thought process, though, is that, like, in the name of full disclosure, I don't own anything with a force reset trigger.
Me either.
Or super safety. Haven't really felt the need personally, because my stump that I've always defended very vigorously whenever someone gets in a discussion about, like, we should have A or we should have B. And I had this exact same conversation with people years ago about, like, well, you need to train for a faster reload because, you know, less time on the gun, blah, blah, blah. And my point of view always was like, yeah, but in combat, they don't teach soldiers, like, how to have a sub half second magazine change. They teach you to be behind cover because that's more important.
Now,
they teach you to cover your buddy so that when he's reloading, you're laying down fire. Like, there's all these different soldiering skills that are much more important than speed. And when I look at FRTs and super safeties, I kind of fall back on the idea of, like, okay, but there's all these soldiering skills that most of which can be covered by fairly good rifle basics and a semi-automatic trigger, and you can get most of the same bang for your buck without these things. And everything I've talked about to this point has been kind of from the guise of like trying to mimic a military capability which works in a squad. And I don't want to take the hardline stance and say like these don't work for civilians or these don't provide a capability. I just don't see the capability being near as pertinent or as important as a whole bunch of other things.
I would say that, in my opinion, if you are choosing between a forced reset trigger or a super safety or a true full auto and any other core prep, your money is better spent elsewhere. Unless your fundamentals are locked down. And by that, I mean your marksmanship. By that, I mean your tactics, your communication, your food, and your water, and your medical. And by medical, I mean your gear and your training are on lock. Because, look, anytime a study has been done, most civilian-involved shootings do not involve a mag change.
Nope.
They don't. They flat out do not involve a mag change. The ones that do tend to involve a mag change due to a failure either of the gun, the ammo, or the magazine.
You've heard Clint Smith's his whole spiel on this, right?
Probably, but remind me.
He was quoting off police shooting statistics and said that, you know, back when like all these departments carried like 6-shot K frames basically and L frames.
Sure.
The average gunfight lasted 5.2 rounds and it was at an average distance of like I think it was 15 feet.
Okay.
And then when all these departments upgraded to Glock 19s, guess what happened? The average range for the fight stayed exactly the same, and the average number of rounds fired was like 2 rounds less than a Glock 19 carries in the magazine. Mm-hmm. So in other words, and he said it flat out, he's like, so what happened is when they had 6-shot K frames, they shot till the gun ran dry, and that's when they stopped. And when we gave them Glock 19s, they shot till the magazine ran dry, then they stopped. Like,
well, you know, there is something to be said for panic fire, which does occur with law enforcement. It occurs with the military. It will occur with civilians too.
Well, and even if you don't call it panic fire, like there's a
look. If somebody's shooting at me, I'm going to shoot until my mag's empty, and then I'm going to reload. Well, look, if it's a 2-way range, it's no longer counting bullets.
Yeah,
it's you shoot until the incoming rounds have stopped for a while,
and that's the point. You shoot till the threat stops. So whether I got 6 rounds in the gun or 15 rounds in the gun, I'm going to continue shooting until I run out and have to reload or until you're not trying to hurt me anymore.
Right. And if I have 15 rounds in the gun versus 6, the natural pause point is different.
Yeah.
Now, you will be judged partially on that.
By people who know fuck all about defensive shooting, unfortunately.
You know, I'm not ever going to tell someone to carry a gun with less rounds in it because there is a point of diminishing returns for weight and ergonomics. Mm-hmm. There is. There is also a point of diminishing returns for having too few bullets in your gun. Because targets don't stand there. Hostiles don't stand there like a paper target on a 7-yard pistol range. They don't. They're going to move. You're going to be moving. You're going to need to apply judicious marksmanship when you can, and sometimes probably suppressing fire.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the videos of people 2-3 guys breaking into a house, and the homeowner happens to be armed and happens to be somewhat ready for that. Guess what? They shoot until everybody leaves the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I can dump a 15-round pistol mag extremely rapidly. I'm sure Phil can as well. And I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff's kind of right on the target. Sounds like the moment you stop to check if the threat is neutralized is right about the same time you stop to reload.
You know, that I have often wondered to myself, and I've talked to this with a few different firearms instructors, if doing those fun mag dumps at the range isn't creating a training scar. And I've often wondered if doing set, double tap, and triple tap drills isn't creating a training scar. I don't know what the right answer is to that.
So I won't say the right answer, but the answer is everything you do can create a training scar if you continue to train the same thing over and over and over. Which is why my comment, like laypersons, because I'm not a firearms instructor, but it's what I take myself. My common advice to everybody is train something different every time you go. Don't train differently. So in other words, like, like if you reload a certain way, reload that certain way. If you do gun handling a certain way, properly, hopefully, but do it the same way every way. Nick and I were talking earlier about the fact that like I've got a chest rig and I've got a plate carrier. They're both set up with the same things in the same spots.
Yeah, as close as possible.
Yeah. So like I know I've fixed blades right here, comms are up here, magazines right here. Like I don't have to think about, oh, I'm wearing the wrong rig. Everything's in a different place. Like you have to train with some consistency, but when it comes to drills, I don't recommend you train the same thing every time because repetition works both ways.
Maybe what we should try, and I know a lot of guys that do this, is when you go to the range, go with a buddy and do, say, threat drills. Have your buddy call down or threat down or clear after a semi-random number of rounds.
Ooh, here's a thought. Shot timer. Except don't wait for the beep to start shooting. Set the shot timer so that after like X amount of seconds at a random interval, it'll beep. So you hit the button, you start shooting on the target, and when you hear the beep, you stop.
Or you hit start, have a buddy call threat, and then at the beep, you stop. Because perhaps you get halfway through presentation, beep. All right, we got to stop.
Either that, or
that could be useful.
I'll tell you a really fun drill, and it seems like just goofing around bullcrap, but it's really fun and it's really useful. You and a buddy work a plate rack back and forth, like one of the little poppers where, like, when you shoot, it flips to your buddy's side.
Yeah, race tree.
I'm going to tell you right now that is a hell of a thing because you are shooting targets in real time, and when he pops one back to you, the way at least we do it is that you have to shoot the top target. Yeah. So when you're focused on shoot the next target and one gets popped up above you, you have to stop,
you have to transition,
re-engage, and then go back. And it's like it's this constant. Your OODA loop is constantly cycling through, looking for. I'm trying to hit this target, but I have to be aware of those up there because if that happens, I have to stop. I have to re-engage up here. It's just my whole thing is that train something different every time. And try to find ways to force you to do stuff other than shoot.
Yeah, force yourself to think along with the training.
I mean, if you're a complete nerd like I am, try doing multiplication tables while you're shooting. You'd be shocked how fast you start pulling rounds left, right, and center because you're not thinking about, oh, I got to squeeze the trigger and I have to control my breathing. You're thinking about like what's 5 times 7 while you're trying to put rounds on target.
If you can find a range that'll let you do it, do push-ups. Or do a couple burpees and then try to shoot your string.
I don't recommend that at the local public range. They'll look at you funny.
It depends on the range. My local public range, if you have their holster certification, you can do stuff like that. But you have to rent out 3 lanes when you do.
Oh, Jesus.
You got to run one to the left and one to your right of you. It's just their rules.
My local range is run by FUDs.
Yeah.
Mostly nice people, but still FUDs.
Mine is run by mostly sandbox tactical Timmies. So, No, they're the fun kind. They'll
Okay,
let
the
you do
fun
stuff like
kind.
holster training and stuff like that. You know, they're guys that are trying to do modern training and less fuddly duddly stuff. But their concealed carry instructors all carry 1911s and outside the waistband holsters, leather. Yeah,
Barbecue guns.
yeah. They sure look pretty, and half of them are Kimbers. Like, you're judging my shooting, sir? My gun works through the entire 21 round string.
Yeah, that's just painful because my first gun is a 1911 made by Kimber.
Hey, look, if they are treated appropriately, and if you break them inappropriately, they're fine. They're fine. But my M&P 2.0C, I pulled it out of the box and I ran 500 rounds through it with zero malfunctions.
I always say, like, I love my Kimber, but I would never on earth hang up one of my CZs and carry the Kimber. It is an accurate gun. It is fun to shoot. It is nowhere near as reliable or forgiving as my CZs are 9mm. Yeah. Not even close.
Jeff makes a good point. When you win a gunfight because your opponent's gun is rusted shut.
Ouch.
Hey, man, a win's a win. Or even if you run away.
Or gunked up with Cosmoline.
Well, that too. That's just another point in the do your maintenance.
Yeah.
Are you cleaning your guns on a regular schedule, even if you haven't been out to the range lately? Spiders build cobwebs.
That might actually be a good topic for next week.
Sure.
Gun maintenance.
Just do your maintenance in general would probably be a good one.
Yeah, I'm sure we can make some hay out of that. But we do need to wrap this up. It is like 8:55 at night, and it is Friday night, which means I have to stay up late tonight and edit this thing.
I'm going to bed in 15 minutes.
Have fun with that. I do appreciate you sticking with me to do this on a Friday night, though, because, like, yesterday was New Year's Day. I was out of town visiting family, and I'm glad we're getting back on the horn, though. I enjoy doing the podcast, but I'm not gonna lie.
I do too.
I was kind of glad. First of all, I was glad to take the time off with my family, but also with me catching the cold or whatever god awful thing I did.
You'd have had a hard time.
Oh, dude, I couldn't keep my stuff together for 5 minutes last week. Yeah. So we would have been taking the week off regardless.
Mm-hmm. Got to take care of your health first.
Yeah.
Without that, you got nothing.
I just don't like to be reminded of it. Anyway, Matter of Fact's podcast is going to go out the door. We might talk about general maintenance, vehicle maintenance, maybe weapons maintenance next week, or we'll figure out something completely different. Stuff just happens. Raggle Fraggle, didn't we do general maintenance not that long ago?
No, I think we did basic home maintenance.
I think we probably did vehicle and home maintenance. So we're going to talk
about... We might have done vehicle at the same time. We could do kit maintenance.
Ooh, kit and firearm maintenance. I like that.
And for those of you that haven't, change your goddamn smoke detector batteries. We're at least a month after daylight savings time.
I need a beeping noise to play during this show now.
No, don't. That drives me fucking crazy. I got up at 3 a.m, 2 days before daylight savings time because one of my smoke detectors did that.
Are you going to
I cannot sleep through that.
Are you going to bub in your Mosin?
I might. I've been thinking about it for a long time. I do have that black powder rifle from Eddie that I've been doing more playing around with.
Okay, then I might play smoke detector beep.
All right, that's fair. For that episode, for when I finally get that done, I am waiting on some hardened nozzles for my 3D printer so I can try some carbon fiber polymer. We might do a full synthetic plastic fantastic job on that thing. We'll see.
Sounds like fun. All right. Matter of fact, it's going out the door. Good night, everybody. Stay out of trouble. Stay in touch. If you're not gonna stay out of trouble, at least be good at getting back out of trouble. Talk to y'all in a week. Bye.
Night.